Hi guys, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, and I am here with an update for my to be read or pan your to be read bookshelf project. I am doing this with a bunch of ladies that are on YouTube and Instagram. I will list all the information in the description box below. If you would like to join us on this project, absolutely feel free. And if you officially want to do it on Instagram or YouTube, let me know and I will add your channels to my description box and add you to our group so that you can interact with us and talk behind the scenes, and then also so that people can find you. So anyway, let me get started. I'm a little nervous to do this video. I know, I'm an English teacher. I should be really good at talking about books. However, I am not. If somebody's like, what do you think of the book? I'm like, it was good. Why did you like it? Well, the characters were real, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not good at really describing books. My interest in English and literature fall into different places. I love to read, but I just really read for the enjoyment and the immersion, not to like remember the plot or what I've read. I can definitely tell people if they should or should not read the book based on their interests and tell them why. But with this project, I'm really just going to kind of go through the books I read in that previous month and then let you know like what does the back say about them? What is the book about, and then whether or not I would recommend it and why. And then I also might ask you for recommendations. So the first book I want to talk about is one that I read with my students this year. It's called Freak the Mighty. It is super cute, and it's about two friends that, and I'll put up the picture somewhere. It's about two friends that meet up and they have a lot of adventures. One is physically challenged and one is learning disabled, and they get together and they have a beautiful friendship. It's written on like a 5th or 6th grade reading level, but I read it in 9th grade with my students because I find that it's a really nice introductory, like more of an independent reading. That's what I call them in my class when I don't really teach them. We just read them more for enjoyment, and we listen to the audio and really just have reading time every day. So this is a really easy one for them to like dip their feet in, and then there is a movie to go along with it called The Mighty, which is super cute, and they really like that. So I will insert a picture of the book up here, and check it out. It is super duper cute. Okay, the next set of books I read were from my pan my TBR to be read bookshelf. It's from my to be read bookshelf. I'm reporting back on all the books I read in a month. You guys said you wanted me to do that, so I'm including like books I read with my kids at school, things that are on my to be read bookshelves, things that I get from the library, or audiobooks, which rarely do I listen to audiobooks, but I'll let you know about those too. So this is this was a trilogy, and it's a trill novel, and these three were so good. I have Switched, Torn, and Ascend. I bought these from Amy from Curly Loves Beauty and Books. She's the one that started this project. And I didn't say that in my intro. Amy started this. Oh, she's so wonderful. She's one of my really good friends on YouTube, and I was so happy to join this, even though I was really nervous to do updates. But all three of the books are written by Amanda Hocking. I love young adult literature, which is what this is considered, I think. I mean, it's about teenagers. The first one, I'll read the back. When Wendy Everly was 6 years old, her mother was convinced she was a monster and tried to kill her. 11 years later, Wendy discovers her mother might have been right. She's not the person she always believed herself to be, and her whole life begins to unravel, all because of Finn Holmes. Finn is a mysterious guy who always seems to be watching her. Every encounter leaves her deeply shaken, though it has more to do with her fierce attraction to him than she'd ever admit. But it isn't long before he reveals the truth. Wendy's a changeling who was switched at birth, and he's come to take her home. Now, Wendy's about to journey to a magical world she never knew existed, one that's both beautiful and frightening, and where she must leave her old life behind to discover who she's meant to become. So that really, I was really enraptured with this book. I brought it to school to read on breaks. I brought it to school to read when the kids were doing something that I didn't have to necessarily like do along with them, like write an essay. If they needed my help, I was there. Or if they were taking a test and I couldn't help them, I would whip out this book and start reading. I also did that with the second one called Torn. And I don't want to read the back about this because I don't want to give away anything that happened in the first book. And then the third book is called Ascend. And I really like that as well. If you guys have any recommendations for me that are sort of like these books, let me know. I would love to read more. Or if this author has other books, I guess I can look it up too. But if you have other books that you recommend by this author, let me know because I really enjoyed these. The next book I read was called, well, I shouldn't say the next one I read, but the next book is Sea Change by Karen White. I also bought this one from Amy. And it says, for as long as she can remember, Ava Wallen has struggled with a sense of not belonging, and now at 34, she still feels stymied by her family. Then she meets child psychologist Matthew Fraser and thinks her days of loneliness are behind her. After a whirlwind romance, they impulsively elope, and Ava moves to Matthew's ancestral home on St. Simon's Island off the coast of Georgia. But after their initial excitement, Ava is surprised to discover that true happiness continues to elude her. There isn't much she doesn't know about Matthew, including the mysterious circumstances surrounding his first wife's death. And her new home seems to hold as many mysteries and secrets as her new husband. Feeling adrift, Ava throws herself into uncovering Matthew's family history and that of the island, not realizing that she has a connection of her own to this place or that her obsession with the past could very well destroy her future. I really like this one as well. I was able to read it fairly quickly. I like to try to show the font and stuff because a lot of, like, I know if you're a reluctant reader or you want to read, this does have tinier print and there isn't a ton of white space. But I loved it and I'm not afraid of that. But I like to show the inside in case people are like, oh, I like, James Patterson, for example, his print is really large, the font he uses, and there's a lot of white space in his books, and his chapters are so quick that if you're a person that has to read quickly and put something down, but you want to read a chapter or read a section, he's really good for that. Something like this, you would have to pause in the middle of a chapter if you don't have a ton of time to read at one time. So I like to kind of show that. And same thing with these books. The font is a little bit bigger, but still the chapters are a little longer. And then the book Apples Never Fall by Elaine Moriarty. Moriarty? I don't know. Anyway, loved this book. It was a library book. I'll post a picture of it up here. The Delaney family love one another dearly. It's just that sometimes they want to murder each other. If your mother was missing, what would you tell the police? Or would you tell the police, even if the most obvious suspect was your father? This is a dilemma facing the four Delaney siblings. And so this, I don't want to say anything more, but it's really good. And I would highly recommend it. I love all of her books. And every time they come to the library, I'm click, click, click. I'm getting them. I want them. Bring them to me. Love the book. So that is Apples Never Fall. Then the next book I have, and I'll pop it up here, is a book by Beverly Lewis called The Beginning. I love Amish literature. It's just, to me, it's just so wholesome and it's so easy to read. It's so comforting for me. And so I love to read it. Here's the synopsis. Susie Mast's old order life in Lancaster County's Hickory Hollow has been shaped by events beyond her control, with the tragic deaths of her dot and close in age brother casting a particularly long shadow. Now, 22, Susie remains unmarried despite her longtime affection for her friend, Obie Yoder. Believing Obie might never show romantic interest in her, Susie accepts Del Petershelm's invitations. It's only after Obie leaves to take an apprenticeship that Susie realizes her mistake. Unfortunately, Susie's cares are soon multiplied due to her mother's worsening health and her younger sister's desire for answers about her adoption. Will family secrets and missed opportunities dim Susie's hopes for the future? It was good. Again, I couldn't put it down. I read it fairly fast. The next book is another one that I read with the kids, and I will just let you know quickly what it's about. It's called The Contender by Robert Lipsyte. I'll post a picture of it up here. And my students really like this book. It's a boxing book. But more than that, it is a book about friendship. It's a book about the inner city Harlem of like the 1970s and the struggles that African Americans faced during that time, or poor people in general. There's gang things in there. There's drug usage, getting arrested. The kids really like it because they can identify with the characters as far as how they relate to each other and how they love each other as like growing up together. And then they get into this world of having struggles once they're teenagers, and how the one character overcomes the struggles and how another character doesn't. And I'm not going to tell you the ending, but it's a really great young adult lit book, and I really like it, and my students do too. And then the next book was Pretty Little Wife, and that was by Darby Kane. I'll post it up here what it looks like. This book was so good. Oh my God, I couldn't put it down. Lila Ridgefield lives in an idyllic college town, but not everything is what it seems. Lila isn't what she seems. A student vanished months ago. Now Lila's husband Aaron is also missing. At first, these cases are treated as horrible coincidences until it's discovered the student is really the third of 3 unexplained disappearances over the last few years. The police are desperate to find the connection, if there even is one. Little do they know, they might be stumbling over part of the truth. So she is like completely concerned about where the heck is her husband. She's the last one to see the body, and now the body is gone. She has no idea where it is. Like, what the heck happened? Such a good book. Such a good book. And then I have, oh, this didn't come up on my Goodreads. The Matchmaker by Elaine Hildebrand. Oh my God, it's so good. 48-year-old Nantucker Dabney Kimball Beach has always had a gift for matchmaking. Some call her ability magic or mystical, while others, like her husband, celebrated economist John Boxmeiler Beach, and her daughter Agnes, who is clearly engaged to the wrong man, call it meddlesome, but there's no arguing with her results, with 42 happy couples to her credit and all of them still together. Dabney has never been wrong about romance. Never, that is, except for the case of herself and Clendon Hughes, the green-eyed boy who took her heart with him long ago when he left the island to pursue his dream of becoming a journalist. Now, after spending 27 years on the other side of the world, Clen is back on Nantucket, and Dabney has never felt so confused or so alive. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that one. But I loved it, and I would recommend it. And then finally, The Two Sisters Detective Agency. This is a James Patterson book. I'll put a picture of it up here. I don't know where it is. I think I donated it. Attorney Rhonda Bird returns home after a long estrangement when she learns her father has died. There, she makes 2 important discoveries. Her father stopped being an accountant and has opened up a private detective agency. And she has a teenage half-sister named Baby. Baby brings in a client to the detective agency, a young man who claims he was abducted. During the course of the investigation, Rhonda and Baby become entangled in a dangerous case involving a group of overprivileged young adults who break laws for fun, their psychopath ringleader, and an ex-assassin victim who decides to hunt them down for revenge. So, those are all the books I've read this month. If you liked this, please let me know. If there's any way that you would like me to do this differently, like if you didn't like me reading the synopses, I'm sorry. Like I said, I really stink at making up my own reviews and coming up with stuff like that. And I wanted to make sure that I was doing it justice. So if you'd like me to do it differently, let me know. If you want to join us on this project, let me know. I'll add you to our Instagram chat and, add you to my description box. But if you like this video, for sure, give it a thumbs up. And if you liked me, please consider subscribing. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.